Well, Free My Mind is Kid Rock did a song that him and Uncle Cracker wrote called Wasting Time. And I kind of like the idea of the thing, but I wanted to make it more my own because Kid Rock says things like, I'm a pimp, you can check my stats, rolling to Fleetwood, that's how I'm act. That's his thing. He's Detroit. That's his thing. Well, that ain't my thing. So I rewrote the whole thing to apply to me. You know, I'm a cosmic cowboy, big time player. I like Pantera, Kid Rock, and Slayer. I like Ice-T, the rapper. I mean, when it comes to drinking, I like Jim Beam. It's David Allan Coe. And then in the chorus, I do Free My Mind instead of Wasting Time. And so I sent him a copy, and I said, you know, is this cool? And I can give you and Cracker credit, you know, as a songwriter. We'll just call it Free My Mind and have the three writers on there. He said, fuck it, you can just put your own name on there if you want to. But Bob's like that. He don't ever want to take credit for nothing. And because in my mind, when him and I are working on things together, and even though if I might have write the song, and then we get in the studio and he says, well, wait, I think you ought to slow this down, or I think we need a banjo here. So as far as I'm concerned, he's got as much input in that song as I do. I want to share that with him. Take This Job and Shove It was, I was living on one of my boats in Nashville, Tennessee at the time. And I was living in polygamy then. I had 7 wives. And I took 2 of my wives to a movie. We was coming back and we heard these sirens blowing, and I thought, well, it sound like fire trucks, and it sounds like it's coming from the boat dock. So we was on our way to Johnny Cash's house, but I thought, well, I'm gonna go just check it out. So I went over there, and sure enough, the boat dock was on fire. So I started cutting people's boats loose and pushing them out in the water, try to keep, you know, save the boats. And the newspapers came there and they wrote the big story about David Allan Coe, you know, saving everybody's boat and shit. And about a week later, we was out on Billy Sherrill's boat, and a bunch of us sitting around talking. And somebody said, asked me, said, David, how would you like to be a fireman? Because I guess a couple of the firemen got hurt. And I said, man, they can take that job and shove it. And I looked at Billy, and he looked at me, and he said, you remember when you and Christopherson was out, and you said, why me, Lord? And Chris went home and wrote a song called Why Me, Lord? Because you were too fucking stupid to write it? He said, you need to go write this one, dude. So I went over to my boat, and I wrote Take This Job and Shove It in about 5 minutes. And I come back over and played it for him. And at the time, I wasn't into being a singer. I was just into living on my boat and traveling around, diving, searching for treasure, treasure hunter, gambler, whatever. I wasn't too much into the music business thing. And so he told me Johnny Paycheck was, he told me George Jones was going to record in the morning. He was going to play it for George. Then they called me the next day and told me George didn't show up, which we all know what that's all about, no-show Jones. So anyway, he said, Johnny Paycheck's here, and he loves this. And I said, who the fuck is Johnny Paycheck? So he told me. So Paycheck gets on the phone and, hey, brother, let me I really love this song, brother, and I'll do this song, brother. And so he cuts the song, and it goes to #1, big hit record. And my mother calls me one day, and she says, Johnny Paycheck's on television. I said, turn it on. So I turn it on. And he's on the Carson show, and Carson says, well, John, who wrote this song? And Johnny Paycheck says, oh, some guy in Nashville. And man, that just broke my heart, you know. Single father. I've been a single father most of my life. And when I say that, I mean not actually a single father in the father role, but the fact that I haven't had my children in a relationship. All my earlier marriages, when a divorce came, I was not allowed to see my kids or have any contact with my children whatsoever. And my son Tyler, my oldest son, turned 15, and he just told his mom one day, he said, I'm going to go live with my dad. And she called me on the phone and said, your son doesn't want to stay here anymore. She says, I'm thinking about taking him down to a juvenile. I said, no, you don't take my son to no juvenile, nothing, you know? No, they did that to me, okay? That my son can go anywhere I go. Anywhere I go. I thought about how many single fathers that there are. And since I've been a single father, I found out that with him, it wasn't a big deal. But now my younger son, Jesus, when I have him on the road, I mean, I absolutely don't know what to do. I ain't going to sit there and watch Puff the Magic Dragon or the cartoons and stuff like that with a little kid. It ain't, I can't hold my interest. And so I used to just, I guess, cop out by taking him to McDonald's. Hey, we'll go to McDonald's, get you a Happy Meal, or, buy him a train and we'd try to put it together, on the floor, on the living room floor and stuff. And my son said to me, Dad, that's great shit, man. You don't understand. He said, single father, that's great shit. You didn't know what to do with the little boy, so you took him to McDonald's. I mean, why can't you just say that? You took him to McDonald's. Who's stopping you from saying that? Who's stopping you from saying, I mean, what, are you afraid to show that side of yourself? Are you afraid that people's going to think you're a weak motherfucker because you put a train together with your little boy on the floor? He says, people need to see that side of you, Dad. So I sat down and wrote the song, Single Father. I played it for him, and he says, that's it. He says, you got it, dude. So I love it. Well, Jack Daniels, if you please, was, like I said, my father was a big drinker. And he was abusive, man. He, like I said, he beat his wife. God, I mean, I've seen him put her head through a wall. And she would, my brother, if you talk to my brother later, my oldest brother, he'll tell you that she brought it on herself because she was one of them women that would just say, come on, hit me, motherfucker. Come on. Just egging him on until he just crossed the line, until he couldn't see no more. Fuck you, you pussy, you ain't gonna hit me, and boom, there it goes, it's off. Well, hit me again, shit, dude, it was just like, so one night, my mom, because every Friday when he gets paid, of course, back in them days, as soon as the dude gets paid, they go to the bar. I mean, and the woman tries to catch them before they spend their paycheck, so she can pay the bills. So my mom got tired of getting beat up in front of the people in the bar when she went down there to get my dad. So she'd send one of us kids down there to go get your daddy. So I go in to get my father. He's sitting there with a bunch of his buddies drinking. He said, yeah, I know what this is. He's sending my boy down here to get me, And I said, what's up, Pop? You coming home? Or what do you want me to tell her, I said, I don't want to hang around in here, And he said, just 1 minute. And he ordered shots, whiskey. And he said, Jack Daniels, if you please, knock me to my fucking knees. Boom. And he took that whiskey down and he said, let's go home. And I remembered that all my life. And so when I got to writing songs one night, I thought, Jack Daniels, if you please, knock me to my knees. You're the only friend there's ever been that didn't do me wrong. And I took it from being a whiskey to being a guy, and it could be the guy or it could be the whiskey. The guy's name is Jack Daniels that you're with, or it could be the whiskey. I kind of did a songwriter thing there on that. And but it was one of the first songs that Kid Rock identified with that I wrote, and it was one of the first songs Pantera identified. Pantera used to play that song before their concerts every night. David Allan Coe singing Jack Daniels, if you please, and when the song's over, Pantera was on stage playing. And they had their Jack Daniels bottles up there. You know, I used to believe in the American dream, you know. And I married a woman. We were married 14 years, and we got 4 children, and we own 4 houses, and we own all of our cars, and we've got money in the bank, and we've got life insurance policies, and that's how I was brought up to believe. If you supported your family and you was a good man and you worked hard and you did that thing, that you would be together the rest of your lives, you know. Well, then I wake up one day, and out of the clear blue sky, this woman wants a divorce. She takes the houses, she takes the cars, she takes the money in the bank, she gets the insurance policies, and everything I worked for all my life is gone. It's totally gone. And I thought, you know, if you didn't have anything that someone could take away from you, you'd be better off. You know, nothing. If you didn't have nothing, you'd have nothing to lose. I thought about that. And then I thought about, I'm a gambler. I win big and I lose big. But I'm a gambler. It's what I do. Get a lot of criticism from, you know, people say, dude, why do you do that? Why? I enjoy it. I like to gamble. You know? So what am I supposed to do? Put more money in a bank for another motherfucker to take? I pay my bills. If I've got 10 grand left over after my bills are paid, I'm gonna go take a shot, dude. You know, I'm gonna gamble and do something I enjoy. I work hard all my life for this. I was in prison half my life. I find something I like to do. It could be worse. I could have a drug habit, you know, that was 20 grand a week, you know. I could be shooting up fucking heroin. But I choose to gamble, play slot machines, big deal, you know. So, you know, I might lose 20,000. I might win 100,000, you know. It's just what I like to do. And then I got to thinking about it, you know. I mean, if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, you know, you got 6 months to live, what the fuck's going to be important to you then, dude? What kind of mouthwash you use, what kind of toothpaste you use, is that going to be important to you? Is it going to be important to you to get up and exercise? Try to lose your stomach maybe? You're going to worry about what you eat? Fuck no. You got 6 months to live, you're going to fucking live, dude, you know? That's just all there is to it. So, you know, like the song says, the doctor tells me I don't have long to live, and all my friends say they'd hate to be in my shoes. But what the fuck? If you ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing to lose, you know? If I live 6 months, good. If I live 7, good. You know, they told Steve Goodman he wouldn't live to be 15 years old, and he lived to be in his 30s. So, you know, he had leukemia. So, I mean, I think I got a good shot at it. But anyway, that's how the song came about. And then when I got involved in a project with Pantera, we put that together. Yeah, Willie Waylon and Me was actually probably the song that started what they call outlaw country music movement. It was the song that said it all about what we were up to and what we were doing and what we believed in. And it was probably the turning point, and it probably paved the way for Mamas Don't Want Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys and all the great things that Willie and Waylon went on to do together and have great success with that. Also, you know, Waylon just died, and I want to let people know that Waylon Jennings was always my hero and a big part of my life. When I die, I wish people would just think of me as a great entertainer. You know, I entertain people. Elvis Presley told me, play to the audience in front of you. That's what I do. I play to the audience in front of me. If I'm playing in Las Vegas, I do a Las Vegas show. I tell jokes. I play to the audience in front of me. I entertain people, you know. That's what I do. And I don't really care if they think I'm a great singer or a great songwriter or whatever, but it's a total all-around package, you know. great magician, great ventriloquist, whatever. You know, great actor. Whatever, just you know, he entertained people. That's what he did. That cough there is from a Humphrey Bogart film. I learned that. I've been trying to practice it. It's a great cough. It's a cough that says you should take a drink of water. I learned that. That's a Al Pacino thing. Got that. That's kind of a Kid Rock, David Allan Coe thing, and that's another kind of a Al Pacino thing, you know. Anyway, on behalf of Martha White Flower, I'd like to thank you for watching this. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you will see me as myself, and you will not be ashamed that you bought this DVD, and everything will be cool.